Hello.
Hello. Hello. Howdy.
Howdy.
Good evening, guys. How are you today? Hello, hello, hello. We are saying hello from Ukraine. So I hope you're okay wherever you are. Anywhere in the world, I hope you're doing well. So who's going to be the first to join us this evening? I would love to see the first name that comes up. Who is it? Who is there? How are you today? Hello, hello, hello. I know Julius joined. I know somebody else has joined. Who is there? Say hello. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, guys. You are welcome. Hello,
Aisha.
You're the
Hello,
first one.
Aisha. You're the first. Hi, thank you for joining us. Good evening. I'm so glad that you guys are joining us today. You know, I love discussing attributes, and I hope that you also love engaging with us on attributes. These are Dr. Dosonde's attributes that we love, and we also believe that we can develop in ourselves as well. You know, there's so many reasons why I love attributes. This is my education time. I mean, every time is my education time, but attributes in particular, they're really important because I use those words loosely. You know, I know what these attributes mean in terms of the word. I can pronounce them, but to imbibe them in my life, I don't do that. And this is a great opportunity to think about them in more depth and apply them in my life and in our lives as well. So these are Dr. Sunday's attributes we love and we know that we can develop. How did we come about these attributes? Okay, I will tell you. It was Dr. Sunday's 50th birthday, his golden jubilee in July. No, May.
Yeah.
Back in May. My birthday is actually in July. It shows you. I only know about my birthday. No, not really. My birthday was in July, but it was Dr. Sunday's birthday in July, and he was 50, so it was his golden jubilee. And during that time, we asked people for a whole month to send us attributes of Dr. Sunday that they love. And of these attributes, we are sharing them with you. We collated 50 of the attributes that were sent to us, and these are the ones that we're sharing with you. So today we are number 20, and number 20 is elegant. So this is the attribute we're discussing today, is elegant. So join us in this discussion, and you can call us or you can write your comments. You can call us by contacting Julie Ngoya. She's right here with me, and she would reply, or she would pick up, no, not reply, she would actually pick up your call so that we can have a conversation here live. And if you wish, you can write your comments down. So let me say hello to a few more people. Queen Anastasia, good evening. How are you? We miss you. Hello, Dan. Good evening.
Hello.
God bless Pastor Chris Oyaka.
Okay.
Amen.
God bless him. Yes.
God bless him, Dan.
Yeah.
We love him, so why shouldn't God bless him?
Hello,
And then Paul, good evening. How are you? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Who else? Reverend Rosalind, good evening. Aisha, we already said good evening, but good evening again. Stephen, good evening. Hello. Thank you, guys. These are the few names I can see. I know there are other people here with us, but they're not showing. I can't see your name, so I'm not able to say hello to you. But in any case, I'm not able to say hello to you personally by mentioning your name, but I can say hello in any case. Hello, Vivian. Hello, Raja. Hello, Victor. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. So we're going to discuss this attributes, elegant. I mean, I'm a bit sexist, you know, because when I heard the attributes elegant, I was thinking more female.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah. So you have to excuse my sexist mindset at this point, but I'm going to try and adjust it so that I don't sound too sexist. Actually,
I don't think it is.
It's not because I'm the same person that uses beautiful for both men and women. So I don't understand why I'm thinking elegant is more for a woman. But in any case, we're going to discuss it. We're going to dissect these attributes and get to know these attributes a lot more, and how we can develop these attributes ourselves.
Yeah, and you know what? It just makes me think of charismatic. When we talked about charismatic, the general thought was also directed toward men.
Yeah.
So I guess they're just these adjectives.
Stereotypes. I think it's the stereotypes that, it's not true.
Way,
It's true. It's not the truth.
Yes.
So if we're gonna go by that, then I just need to adjust my brain. That's all. Yes. So thank you again for joining us, guys. I really appreciate when you join us. But we would also like if you would engage with us by writing down your comments, your thoughts on what we're discussing, your thoughts on these attributes. If you have these attributes already, tell us how you develop these attributes and what benefit this attribute is for you. And if there's anything else that you can give us a thumbs up, an idea on, so that we can all learn on how to develop these attributes, please don't hesitate to share with us. The other thing I also want to ask you is that, please, guys, feel free to call us on Julie Ngoya's Messenger. Just engage with us. We'll put you on live and you talk what you want to say, Yeah. So we would like that. We love that when people engage with us. We don't mind at all, so please feel free to do so. And I just want to remind you guys, Dr. Sunday is still continuing his series, their series, not his series, their series on on pagan and Christianity.
Paganism, yeah.
Paganism and Christianity. And the actual title is The Resurrection of Paganism and the
title is Christianity.
The death of
Christianity
and the resurrection of paganism
in the African church, or in African churches.
Yes, and it's not just in Africa, anywhere all over the world. So again, I just want to thank you for joining us, and also remind you another thing, that anything that you see here that we do live on Facebook, we also have it available on YouTube. So YouTube Sunday Adelaja Official. So you can go to YouTube at any time. So we have it on live when you're joining us right now, and later on we will have it on YouTube. So we aim to have it on YouTube within 48 hours. That's our standard time that we aim. But sometimes we have delays, but most of the time we even do it quicker than the 48 hours. So please feel free to go on YouTube Sunday Adelaja Official. And if you're one that enjoys reading, you can also go on Dr. Sunday's blog, or should I say website. It says that's a blog and website, which is SundayAdelajablog.com. So SundayAdelajablog.com. You'll find lots of articles on there. It's really worth checking out. So guys, let's start. I'm going to read your comments first because I can see a couple of comments. So I think that we should start with that. Aisha says, I always say to my son Elijah, what a lovely name. You are beautiful, and he's a boy, and and okay, and this. So I think that yes, you're agreeing with us in terms of the attributes, and hold on, in terms of the attributes, yes. And read this somewhere that beauty can be attributed to both boys in the wrong way. Okay. Yes, I mean, it's not, it shouldn't be, because I use beauty for both men and women. I usually say beautiful people if I don't want to say sir or madam or, friends or family. I say beautiful people. So yes, absolutely, you're right, Aisha. Thank you for that contribution. Thank you. Anastasia is saying, thanking Queen Vivian. Hello, Dan. Elegant, just knowing who you are in Christ makes you understand your royalty you are called to. Elegance is key. Wow, Dan, thank you very much. Of course, I didn't see it in that way. You see, I told you, I mean, barely 10 minutes and I'm already learning. I wasn't even thinking in this way, but I appreciate that comment. That's really good. So we also have who's volume way down. Okay.
You should have fixed it by now.
Yeah, the volume should be up now. Emile Tignason. Chiasa. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name properly. Maybe I would pronounce the other name that you have here instead. I would say those one. Zubi, thank you for sharing. Lisa, good evening. How are you? Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Paul, for sharing. Thank you. Paul is thanking you for joining this broadcast.
Yeah.
Victoria, thank you. Okay, guys. So this is our attributes today. Is elegant.
Yeah.
So Julie, do you have a definition?
Yes. Let me see what my definition tells me. I actually agree with what Dan, was it Dan? Yes, Dan said, because when I think of elegance, I also attribute it to God immediately, because for me it has something to do with royalty and representing. So if you're called in Christ and you are supposed to be his representative and he's the King of Kings, to me, this is the absolute motivation for elegance and for displaying elegance in everything that you do in your everyday life, and so I definitely agree with that, Dan. So let's check
what does
out.
the dictionary say is about elegance? Should I read mine?
Yeah, you can read yours.
Okay, it says elegant, graceful, and stylish in appearance or manner. Who does that remind you of?
I definitely know there's someone called Dr. Sunday Adelaja who represents that attribute 100%.
Okay, graceful and stylish in appearance or manner. Interesting. And you know what else that the dictionary is doing? The dictionary is very sexist. It says, she will look elegant in black. Why is she? But that's just a description. I'm just being picky here right now, guys. It says she. Why is she? But the other synonyms to elegance. It says stylish, graceful, tasteful, discerning, refined, sophisticated, dignified, cultivated, distinguished. Oh, distinguished gentleman means you're stylish or you're elegant. Classic, smart, fashionable, modish, decorous, beautiful, artistic, lovely. Wow, those are a few synonyms with the word elegant. Interesting.
Yeah, should I read out mine?
Yes,
I actually love mine. Mine is absolutely great. So,
go ahead.
It says, being graceful and refined are aspects of being elegant. Okay, being graceful and refined. That word first appears in English in the 15th century. It comes via Old French from the same Latin source that gave rise to the English word elect, and it does seem that especially elegant people and things are in a select group. Very stylishly dressed men and women are elegant, and fine restaurants with distinctive delicacies are elegant. Most ordinary places and people can become elegant, though, when dressed up or adorned for special occasions. Even walruses can appear elegant when they're swimming.
Even
walruses? Is it walruses? Walruses?
Yeah, walruses.
Walruses can appear elegant when they're swimming. And I actually like this last thing because this is something that I connect to purpose. If you are, for the walrus, for instance, if they're swimming, they're in their element.
Yes.
They're elegant.
Wow, how intelligent is that, Julia?
I thought,
wow.
I like that. So it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the way you dress or the way you are at a specific moment, but it is, are you doing something or are you doing the thing that you're called and that you're made to do? Isn't that beautiful?
And I like the word you used as being in your element. That's really important. Being in your element. Being in your element to me also describes purpose. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, what you're naturally built or created to do, you're always in your element. And walrus they are in the element when they're in water. It's like fish out of water. It's not in the element. So this is really important.
Yeah, because think about it. If a fish is out of water, it's gonna like jump around, move
and
around,
probably
and
die
it's
with
gonna
time.
exactly die out with time. It doesn't look elegant. It doesn't look attractive. It doesn't look any glamorous. But when it's in the water, you know how it can swim and it can move and it just looks beautiful. It's such a great metaphor to use.
I actually like that definition very much. Can you read that definition again?
Yes. Being graceful and refined are aspects of being elegant. That word first appeared in English in the 15th century. It comes via Old French from the same Latin source that gave rise to the English word elect, and it does seem that especially elegant people and things are in a select group. Very stylishly dressed men and women are elegant, and fine restaurants with distinctive delicacies are elegant. Most ordinary places and people can become elegant, though, when dressed up or adorned for special occasions. Even walruses can appear elegant when they're swimming.
Very good, very good. Again, this is a matter of purpose, and I really, really think that we should all cultivate the habit of being elegant. This is again, we always discuss these attributes, and we talk about Dr. Sunday as the catalyst for these attributes that we're discussing. But reminder always that this is not about Dr. Sunday. These are just attributes that triggers us to think about our own characters, our own attributes, and the attributes that other people admires, and attributes that makes you who you are, that people have said to us that they love and they would love to develop. So this is one of them. So I really want to talk about this in the angle of how do we develop this. I know there's a lot of things in this definition about how you dress, how you carry yourself, but how do you develop this? Is this just a matter of being able to dress well, like buying good clothes, or is there more to it? I really think that we should have that discussion, guys. So if you have any ideas, please let us know. Please. Ebenezer said that's Dr. Sunday Adelaja's attributes. Yes. Steven says elegant, attractive in appearance or behavior, like you guys are right now. You are looking good. Oh, Steven, you're a charmer. Thank you very much for that.
Thanks, Steven.
Then we have, who else has said something? Okay. Rex says, when is Dr. Sunday coming to Nigeria? A lot of people don't have access to internet. He needs to open their eyes. Yes, Rex is doing that. And it's not just, most of his audios or books. So let's start with books, because you mentioned internet. You can actually buy his book, and you can also buy his book in Nigeria. So you don't just need to focus on just internet and live broadcast. But when you do have internet, you can actually download his audios, and also their podcasts as well. So you can download audios because they carry a less bandwidth. It's easier than videos. So look into that, or if there are other people as well that might be available that have already downloaded the audios or the videos, that they can send it to you, Rex. But Dr. Sunday is coming to Nigeria, but we don't know when yet. And when he does come to Nigeria, there are other things that he's going to be doing. So it's not necessarily live broadcast. So, but you can find out more about Dr. Sunday's plans for Nigeria by going to sundayadelajablog.com/Nigeria. That's sundayadelajablog.com/Nigeria. You will find out more, Rex. But thank you for that, though. Okay, so should we go on? So guys, please help us in this. Help us in these definitions and how we can develop these attributes, elegance. Because yes, Stephen has rightly said about looking good, dressing well. Is there any other ways that you really think that one can demonstrate or cultivate, rather, cultivate the attribute elegance. What do you think, Julie?
I think the importance or the focus, obviously, the way that we should live is that we should live from the inside out. So these qualities, obviously, we should start building them from the inside and trying to cultivate them from the inside instead of from the outside. Because I understand, I personally am someone, I like to look good, I like to take care of myself, this is important, and I think this is part of you being a renewed creation in Christ and a good representative of God. But this is not the focus, and this is especially not something that you're going to be or you should be judged by. But I think if someone starts from the inside, it will have to actually start with telling yourself the truth about yourself. Because I think this is
we're not doing reflections today, but go ahead. I actually like what you're saying.
Yeah, because if you know,
I'm listening. I'm all ears. Go ahead.
Especially if you want to build something, you have to understand where you are. So you have to be realistic with where you want to be. And if elegance is something that, for instance, you set yourself as a goal, you have to know what does it take for you to become that person. So first of all, if I'm not someone who's elegant in the way that I speak or the way that I am, I have to first of all understand what is it even? What does it entail to be elegant? How does it look like? And then compare that to how I actually am. If I'm elegant, am I someone who's just, all over the place and who's not, who's not purposeful in the way that they walk or behave? Because we just spoke about the walrus who was in his purpose or in her purpose, and who was elegant as a consequence. So you have to understand who you are and what is your purpose, so that you can know what you have to do to get there, to put it into practice. Because yes, you can know it inside, but you also have to bring it to fruition, make it tangible, make it substantiated, but you have to start from the inside.
Absolutely love that, Julie. That anything that you are, you're first everything in your mind, and your mind is inside. We all can't see your mind. So when we talk about being something from the inside out, I mean, it's not in your stomach. Maybe it is your stomach, but it could also be a matter of your mind. So you're actually that already in your mind, but in this day and age where people talk about packaging, especially in Africa, let's be honest, there may be people that are not really elegant, but they look the part.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about here is the true definition and cultivating it truly, so Julie is right that everything that comes out of you have to be right from the inside first. So you would have developed yourself. And I think I read here just now from my vision where I'm standing or sitting that it's education as well. Absolutely, education is one of them. One of the things that makes you who you are is educating yourself, self-development, knowing who you are, self-acceptance, as Aisha said, education, self-acceptance. Absolutely. So when you've developed yourself, you're who you want to be in your mind, then other people can then say it. This has to be a two-way, a dual thing, where you are that inside, and then to be defined as elegance, you also have to show it. Hence what Julie is saying, that it has to come to fruition. It has to be visible. It has to be visual. Because, you can think of whatever you are in your head, in your mind, but you're not it in reality. And I think, that's another challenge that we all have to work on, where we think we can imagine what we are, but that imagination is the first step, is the basis. The next step and the most important thing is that when that imagination becomes reality. So in this case of elegance as well, you can think yourself elegance is coming from the inside, but thinking has to be coupled with reality, with the action, with the things that makes you elegant, with the education, with the self-love, with the looking good, you know, with looking healthy, with being healthy, not just looking, but being healthy. And all of these things takes time. It takes consistency. It takes power. It takes endurance. It takes a lot of practice over time. It's not, you know, you just don't wake up and be dressed as and just look elegant, you know. And I think there's something about elegance as well, you know, that also makes it really really, what's the word, what I'm trying to say with elegance is that it's not just, you know, because we talked about stylish and looking good and all that, right? It also carries an extra weight that it's not just that, it's also the way you carry yourself, which is not quite tangible, you know? It's not something that you can dress. You know, like, elegance is not like if you dress a child with the best designer and they look good and the child is behaving like a child. That's not elegant, you know? But if you are dressed as an adult, you look good and you also carry yourself in a certain way, you do things in a certain way, that defines it as elegant. Does that make sense?
You mean you carry yourself based on how you dress?
Not just how you dress. There's something that is added to, with elegance, there's an extra layer to it to be able to attain it. And that layer is not about just what you look like physically. It's also how you carry yourself, how you behave, how you reason, you know, how you respond to things, how you behave in the, you know, it's not just, you know, like, you must have seen a lot of people that look good, that dress well, right? But you cannot say that they're elegant. Do you understand? Because maybe they're just talking anyhow, or you know, they're just loud, or they just, you know, you can say, oh, he's wearing a nice clothes, I like what he's wearing, but you can't, or what she's wearing, but you can't say this is an elegant person. That's what I'm trying to say. That elegance just have this extra bit to it that is really modern fashion. It's modern looks. It's also the looks in combination with something else.
So it's like a design, right? It's the whole package. Yeah,
it's a whole package. It's not even just about design. You know, you're wearing something nice and everything, and another person could be wearing something nice, but I might not see them as elegant. Unless they also carry themselves well with what they're wearing. It comes as like you said, like a total package. So it's not just about, okay, nice suits and everything. It's also about maybe the way they're well spoken, maybe articulating themselves well, maybe the ability to listen to other people, you know. So dressing well and then just being able to listen to other people, and maybe being patient as well, certain virtues. Yes, elegance comes with virtues. You know, it's not just about style, it's also about virtue for me. Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think it also covers what is written in the definition that we read out, being graceful and refined. You know, a little bit of refinement of what can I say? Elegance, sprinkling, sparkling.
Refinement of character, probably.
Exactly. And Adebola says personality. Yes. Exactly.
Yes, I think that also, I think that's one of the things I'm trying to say. You know, virtue, personality, you know, it's not just about being able to afford good clothes or good things and just wearing it. It's how you carry yourself with it as well. So that makes you elegant.
Yeah. Deborah White is saying how you comport yourself.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You got it, Deborah.
That's it.
Anastasia is saying gracefulness.
Yes.
And Stephen is saying mirror of what someone is really is, no matter what he or she wears.
Exactly. And you know, I know the definitions is saying a lot about what you wear, being stylish. One of the things it says that it says a lot of things about if you describe a person or thing as elegant, it says you mean that they are pleasing and graceful in appearance or style. You know, but it's not in appearance or is actually both for me. They appear to be elegant and they're also stylish. But this person, the comment in terms of personality and the previous comment, how you comport yourself, you know, you don't even have to wear an expensive clothes or even a stylish clothes to be elegant, you know, in this case.
Yeah.
So I think character is really key in demonstrating or making it real. Reality is how you compose yourself, but what is inside you, what you are inside, demonstrating that consistently.
Yeah, that's what Vivian also said. My grandmother would tell us it's not the clothes, but it's who's in them.
Yes.
Very true,
Yes,
Vivian.
yes. Yes, I agree with that, Vivian. Your grandmother is very wise because a lot of us, especially young people, we want to look good and, you know, we want to dress nice and buy expensive designer things, but, you know, we haven't actually developed our character, our personality. We don't really even know who we are. And we think that just what we wear makes us elegant, you know, but yes, if we refine with the definition that Julie read out, refine who we are, and then wear that clothes, that combination for me is the elegance. It's not the clothes and what you wear. And that's why I use the description or the analogy of a child. You know, you can imagine how a child is. It doesn't matter what suit, especially boys. I'm not again. This is just for you to have an image. You know, it happens with girls as well. You dress them up really nicely to go out and everything, and they just want to play on the grass, or you know, maybe they're wearing a white suit. They're not really caring that this is white. I need to care. I need to be careful. Or you know, they're drinking their juice anyhow, and you wouldn't describe that as elegant. You know, you wouldn't describe a child. Yeah, it's cute, it's nice, but an adult that is dressed in such a way, you know, that maybe they're wearing a white suit or, you know, even a white dress, they're careful. They carry themselves in a different way. They do things in a different. I mean, for me as a woman, even sometimes what I wear does even kind of like informs me of how I should behave. If I was wearing a high heel, for example, I walk in a different way from where I'm wearing a trainers, or flats. You know, so elegance is that thing that, you know, it kind of defines. It's from the inside out, from your mind, but it's a combination of both. Yes, you're looking stylish, you're looking well, but the icing on the cake is that character, is that refinement.
Yeah,
I
actually like what Aisha said here to that, because she's saying, oh ladies, I see so many pastors looking elegant in white suits, but practicing paganism and deceiving people. So character and personality and truth should define elegance.
Wow. You know what I love about Aisha, right? Aisha is on a course, right? She is so focused and knows where she is, that whatever is happening, even if it's not in this program, because she's imbibed herself in Dr. Sunday's teaching. She uses examples of teachings and what is going on in the environment or in her environment or on this channel to describe this. And I really like that. Really, thank you very much, because that's absolutely true. You know, dressed in white, and you know, playing the part of, like, white is usually seen as, you know, clean, angel, good heart, good everything. You are probably not elegant now with this definition.
Yeah.
But then as soon as they do something or they say something, or even the way that they behave to congregation, or like those charlatan pastors, they dressed well, but they're still charlatan. You can identify that they're charlatan pastors.
Yeah.
So elegance is not going to be in their own attributes. Nobody would attribute them, would coin an attribute or say an attribute to define them that they're elegant, because they are dressed well, but their behavior is totally the opposite. So yes, thank you very much, Aisha. So let's see. Jude, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Nigel, for joining us. I love these teachings. Thank you, Nigel. We appreciate you. Yes, madam, I hear you. Thank you, Nigel. Okay, Nigel is really engaging with us. Again, I think it's also one's upbringing. That's interesting, Deborah. Deborah, it's really interesting to mention that it's one's upbringing. And, we cannot discount upbringing or environment from any of whatever we discuss, because as we know and we've been taught that environment is 50% of who you are. 50%. So for you to even become this, so I really like that, Deborah, that you mentioned that, because we can say that we can all develop this, but would your environment be an hindrance to you to develop this type of attributes or these attributes? You have to be 100% conscious, because again, I'm going to repeat this, which is that environment is 50% of who you are. So it's important that we build our own environment. We create our own environment. And what do I mean by that? It's not as though you're going to create your own world and you live in your own world, or you just live in your own house to create your own environment. But it's a matter of actually cultivating and consciously making informed decisions about who you want to be. It goes back to from the inside out. So from the inside, you would have an idea, or you would have a detailed information about yourself, who you want to be, what you want to be portrayed as, how you want your life to be. So that is really from the inside. You're thinking how these things would be. You haven't even started it. You're just thinking. You have a picture in your head. You have an idea in your head. And then you look for ways to make those ideas reality. So you look for steps. What are the things? Okay, I have an idea to be this kind of person. This is the kind of person that I am. So even if I'm living in this environment that is not helping me, or this environment is not giving me, handing it to me in, how to be this way, what do I need? Do I need to soak myself in the environment? How do I soak myself in the right environment to be that elegant, to be that person, or what I want to be, what I'm thinking in my inside and in my mind? Do I need books? Books is a very good way, because it takes you away, it gives you more imagination. Do I need to follow and learn from people that already have those attributes, people that already live in that life? Should I look at what they're doing, how they're doing those things, maybe copy and paste what they're doing? So copy, if you know somebody that you like, you admire what they're doing, you admire the way they are, there's nothing wrong in you then copying that, emulating what they're doing. So that's another way of doing it. Watching videos, watching examples of people that do this. And, I know it's not easy all the time, because if you're surrounded with certain types of people, it's not just easy to just get up and go and say, right, you guys are not my friends anymore. I don't want to be like you. Once you know in your mind that this is not how you want to be a different way. It's not easy to just say, I'm out of here. But then also just being mindful, knowing the things, as you're going to copy some things, emulate some things, you also know things not to emulate, to consciously decide that you're not going to. So it's a two-way thing as well. And we're capable as human beings. There's nothing that we cannot do. We're so superior being that, we're to God. God is already inside of us. But as God is a creator, we also are creators. So if there's something, or the way that you want to be, you have to practice it every day. You have to determine that, okay, this is how I should be this way. These are the examples that I'm going to follow. And also decide, these are the examples I am not going to follow. Because we say what we're going to do, but we should also say what we're not going to do, so that it wouldn't come to us unawares. Because if we always say what we're going to do, we identify what we're going to do with it. What about the gaps in between, where you're not seeing or you're not doing what you say you want to do? You also have to determine what you don't want to do, and be conscious not to do them too. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to see it and soak it in.
Yeah, you're right. I really like what Maya said. Maya said a lot. And I like that about her because she always covers almost everything whenever she talks. But I love, especially the fact that you're saying the copying part, because oftentimes we can think that, oh, I don't want to be like this person. I want to be unique. I want to be this. But, there are so many people who've been walking parts of our past at least already in the past. So there's really only good things that we should learn from. If we want to build ourselves, learn from the mistakes and learn from the good things that they did. Learn and copy and make it your own. It's not that you have to, do exactly what someone else did, but make it your own thing. And I really like, especially that you were talking about the fact that we have to be conscious. Just like Deborah is saying, you have to be conscious because, yes, environment is 50% of who we are. And especially if we are children, we grow up with parents. There's not much of decision making that we have because we are under the authority of another human being who's taking care of ourselves. But as soon as we are out, we have to realize that this authority has been transferred to us now. So you have to be sure that we walk in that authority. There's no one to blame anymore and no one to give that authority up to. So we can change, even if we come from a household, for example, where that value or that virtue is not valued, we can still change it. We can still go back to, I will redefine myself and I'm going to become elegant because this is a very important virtue. We've been talking about the fact that it's, the kind of being graceful and, there's, it is about your personality and your character, and we have the authority, we have the power to change that. As soon as we are honest with ourselves, we know that, okay, maybe I came from a home where nobody was polite and we were just cursing each other, or, nobody cared about these things. Now I'm out of that environment. Now I can build this again. And it is tough, but we can all do it. Nobody, yes. You have the power, just like Myla said, we can all do it. There's nothing that's impossible.
Yes. And I think, Julie, maybe we can actually give examples because Julie and I think a few days ago, maybe recently, I don't know, I can't remember, this day seems long to me, today particularly, that we were discussing about some of the habits and things that we do at home, or maybe our environment kind of like train us badly.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know, and maybe they didn't know either. It's just certain things that they do, like criticizing other people, or just saying, especially living in Europe, living in the West.
Yes.
Just kind of saying certain things, and we're not even engaging in it ourselves. We're just sitting down, listening, right? And those things then become who we are without us knowing.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm particular about even things that you don't like. Don't just submit to it as in, okay, I'm not going to, you just say, I don't like it. But you also have to decide that I am not going to do it. It's not so much of saying that you don't like it or just not to engage in it, but you have to decide consciously that you're not going to do it in order for you to be holistic. Because and in terms of with young people that Julie mentioned, like if you're living at home and you're under authority, I would really make a note of things that you don't like, you don't want to become, and that other people do. You can say your truth, go through your levels of truth and say it, and because if you're under authority, there's so much you can say, and whoever is even going to listen to you, especially from an African home where the doctrine or the behavior is like the elderly are always right. But write it down that I don't want to be this because this is wrong. Because if you don't, I bet you, just as you write good things down, right? You should write the things that you don't want. I mean, let your list be the good things, because then they will supersede the bad things.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that they're so just very dormant that you don't know. I gave example of when I was hanging around the group with a particular person that is always criticizing other people. All I used to do was just nod and say, yeah, okay, yeah, and laugh and, laugh. And then you know what? When I wasn't with that person anymore, that behavior just transferred to me automatically without me knowing. And somebody else that loves me have to tell me that, listen, throughout this sitting and being here, do you know you've actually said this about this people, different people that you don't even know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that's true. Immediately I knew where it came from. It was because of my environment and what I listened to, that I wasn't even participating in verbally, or, you know, I was just kind of like nodding and nodding. And as I was nodding and, you know, it was getting into my head, and one day I just started to behave that way. I don't even know how long I've been behaving that way, that I was just lucky that somebody pulled me up on it and said, you're doing this. And then from that moment, I just decided that, wow, you know, just stop it, you know, stop doing this.
Yeah.
So being elegant also has a lot to do with that, the things that you do quietly as well. Not only the things that are pronounced in you that people see, but also the things that you do quietly, because the things that you do quietly are the things that will pronounce you as well later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. And I actually have a similar story, especially at work. You know, when people tend to talk about each other, gossip is something that is just prevalent. It's normal. And I really had to struggle with this, because I was openly saying to people that I don't like to gossip. I don't want to do this. And people would, you know, they would slander you even. They would say, oh my gosh, you are like, whatever. Are you a holy person? Or
yeah, you think you're better than us.
Exactly. So you can't even openly, or it is very difficult for you to openly be someone who distinguishes themselves. And this is actually part of being elegant, that you are distinguishing yourself, that you're discerning, and that you are conscious about this aspect of yours. But it's difficult in the West. It's really something that I personally have been struggling with as well. And you have to be conscious about the fact that this is something you subconsciously can lose if you don't pay attention to your environment. I've been with these type of people too, you know, telling me, oh, look what she's wearing today. And yes, it is something that you may observe, that you
but
may
I have
notice,
seen it. Why wouldn't say
exactly,
look
why
at it?
pointing it out? Why making it a big deal? And then possibly even looking at it, not necessarily from a positive perspective, but an envious perspective, or degrading perspective.
There's no value in even saying that. It doesn't yield any positive
it's not,
fruit.
It's not
for you or the person. So
it's not elegant at all. And for me, part of elegance is being polite.
Yeah,
being
graceful.
Graceful, exactly. Being someone who's lovely, and not just by being cute or whatever, but showing love to someone, you know, responding in love and acting in love. And even when you look at someone and you observe what they're wearing, acknowledge it in love, you know. There's no issue acknowledging something or noticing something, but it doesn't help anyone if you do it to pull someone down. This has nothing to do with elegance. So be mindful of your environment. It makes up a lot.
Yes. So that's what I think that we should all cultivate. This is an attribute that I think that we should all cultivate. And guys, if you've missed the other 18 attributes that we've done in the past, please go to Sunday Adelaja Official. That's Sunday Adelaja Official on YouTube. When you get to YouTube, right, and you type in Sunday Adelaja, you would see his picture, Dr. Sunday's picture, when I say his. And in his picture, he's wearing a blue suit and a green shirt and a green bow tie. Click on that picture and it will take you to his channel homepage. And that channel homepage, you would have a host, literally several playlists upon playlists on various titles, various topics, that you will find something that will help you with what we're discussing here. But if you want to go particularly into the attributes, yes, there is called testimonials. I think it's under the playlist of testimonials. So check it out, or just play around, look around the channel. You'll find other things that will interest you.
Super interesting stuff.
Yes, and of course, you can always engage with us daily. We're here 7 p.m. Ukraine time, which is 5 p.m. UK and Nigeria time. And then Dr. Sunday will continue his teachings at 9 p.m. Ukraine time. That's 7 p.m. UK and Nigeria time. And you can always join in that as well. Write your comments, let us know who you are, what you're learning, how you're developing, how this is changing your lives. It's really a pleasure. It's also encouraging when you share those positive information with us. Always. encouraging. So Nigel is showing acting in love. You guys have repeated the topic again. You guys have repeated this topic again.
I think they have to repeat.
Okay, have to. Okay, sorry, Nigel. Have to repeat this topic again. You guys are awesome. Oh, Nigel, thank you. Chasing the crowd. Okay, you're telling us not to chase the crowd, to own ourselves. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Nigel says, we are a testimony of what you are saying. Thank you, Nigel. Yes. We have, I wish you repeat that part again. Oh, sorry, Nigel. I'm not sure which part you're talking about, but you don't not to worry in terms of repeating anything. This video is recorded and it will stay on the timeline of Dr. Sunday on Facebook. And furthermore, it will go onto YouTube. So it's Sunday Adelaja official YouTube. You'll be able to watch this over and over again. And you can also download it and do as you wish with it. We have Aisha saying, absolutely, Julie. I try to redefine myself by first changing the Muslim background to Christian and refuse to stay married to man older than me and before the wife.
Oh, wow.
Aisha, I'm not laughing at you. I'm actually laughing with you. I find this kind of things interesting, but you know, that's absolutely great. Redefining yourself is empowering, and you know, I think that's a fantastic choice that you've made there, or decision you've made there. Nigel saying the West is the worst. And Deborah says, I love you girls. Please keep the conversation going. I'm sincerely grateful. Thank you. We are also grateful that you're joining us and writing down your comment. Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, Deborah says,
yes, it's a conscious decision. Patrick, good evening. Nigel says, open to me the gates of righteousness. I will go through them and I will praise the Lord. Amen. Thank you very much, Nigel.
And I think elegance is actually one aspect of being righteous in God's kingdom, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we're working, this is the environment that we actually are. We as God's children are in God's kingdom, and this is the environment that we have to replicate in this earth. And part of it is acquiring those attributes that help us to mimic or to represent, cultivate, to imbibe this culture, this kingdom environment. So it is on us, like we said earlier, to cultivate it. Let's cultivate this by acquiring those attributes.
Brilliant. I mean, I love this, and in terms of the kingdom and the comment that we just read out, that we really do have a responsibility. I know we started with we can develop, but and by the time we end in this attribute discussion, it's becoming clearer and clearer to me that it's not, these attributes are not to be they're not to be taken as a maybe or maybe not.
Yeah.
It's an actual responsibility for us to imbibe, to develop, to make it us, make it our life, just to be kingdom-minded, kingdom carriers, you know. So we have to. It's not a choice. It's not. It's not an option for us not to. And it's really a good testament that we have somebody like Dr. Sunday that you guys saw these attributes in, and you admire, and you let us know that this is a attribute of his that you actually admire. So to give us that platform and that opportunity to start to discuss this the way that we are discussing it, we also need to know that we should be responsible for these attributes. We should also be cultivating these attributes, developing these attributes daily in ourselves, just not to be like Dr. Sunday, just alone, but to be kingdom carriers, to be who we're supposed to be. I mean, today we didn't even talk about Dr. Sunday being elegant at all.
I actually wanted us to finish, maybe we can use it to close it up, because I remember there's Stella who left a comment about Dr. Sunday being elegant with his suits of many colors, colorful suits. And this is really, I think, one of the first things that people can definitely notice on Dr. Sunday when it comes to elegance. It's not just that he's always wearing these really nice tailor-made clothes, but he also wears really impressive and what's the word? Character.
It demonstrates a very good character
Yes,
with it.
with all his colors, and
Yes.
they stand out.
Yes, the colors stand out. That's just the clothing. That's the outer layer. But as we were talking, I just kept on thinking about him and his behavior, and especially when we talked about gossip and when we talked about people backbiting and things like that,
Yeah.
and some of the habits that we have developed wrong habits that we've developed. That Dr. Sunday never allows that at all. I spoke yesterday about the new video that he did. To my friends, don't cry for me, right? And how, what has conspired over the last few weeks when he started the teaching of the Christianity and paganism, and what has happened with even people that were his followers, that were his friends, that were against him. And I'm one of those people, because of the habits that I have developed. I'm always trying to be a trigger, like, oh, Dr. Sunday, this person is saying this about you. About you. And because it's so elegant, it just kind of like, oh, really? Okay, all right, they have the right to say whatever they want to say. And I'm like, oh, say something else, say that
Yeah, he's very polite in the choice of his words.
Yes.
Very selective.
Really,
very
from the
purposeful.
inside. He doesn't operate with what is happening, like whatever anybody is doing. He's consciously decided that this is his answer, this is his response. I'm trying to tell him that you should be enraged. You should be like, say something else. Don't say, okay, that's. I had to do it. I had to give up at some point. When I was, when you have no choice. This is the demonstration of light and dark. I am the like, oh, did you read what this person said about you? I'm that way. I'm learning not to be, but I was like, and then he was like, yeah, they have the right to say, and sometimes, Mayowa, you have to really understand where they're coming from. You have to understand from their shoe, from their angle, where they're talking from. I'm like, no, but this person said this. Can you believe he said that? It's like, yeah, it's fine. To me, that's pure elegance. I know everyone knows about his clothing and, his suits and how he likes to be stylish and wear this, but that's nothing to who he is in terms of elegance. So again, this really epitomized for me what I believe elegance is now. It's not about the clothing or what you're wearing outside. It's more about the inside, the demonstration, what you make reality. And the reality that he makes, what is always that, understand where other people are coming from. You don't need to hate them. You don't need to dislike people because of what they're saying. You don't know where they're coming from. You don't understand what has happened, what they're thinking. You might be taken in the wrong context. Sometimes he even gives excuses for them. Sometimes when you're reading certain things, you're reading in a certain way, but the person have a different meaning. It's like, oh, really? I'm like the total, no, I believe that they're saying this. It's like, yeah, you also can believe that. But I think that you should try and see from other people's point of view. That just kind of make me like, okay, I really need to go improve myself. I really need to go and refine myself a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely, go ahead.
No, but you're so right. We definitely do. And that's why it's so good that we have such a good example of Dr. Sunday, who always reminds us of how important it is that we have to go back, refine ourselves. Go back, refine ourselves. And this is why solitude is so, so, so important. Like he already spoke about it yesterday a little bit, but these attributes are actually things that we can use to go on solitude with, to go and spend time with God and ourselves alone, just to work on us developing them. And this type of elegance is something that it's paramount. It's something that, we can see in Dr. Sunday every day, just the way even that he walks. Whenever he comes into the room, he will greet everyone. He will be polite. He will, yesterday there were guests that we had, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and they came into the room, and it was a couple, and the man came and he bowed down. Dr. Sunday also bowed down. It was just beautiful to see, this is elegance in the kingdom way, and this is really, it's so inspiring, and it is something we all are capable of. So Yeah, let's go for it. Let's not despair, even if we see someone like Dr. Sunday, we think, oh my God, he's mastered that skill already. But yeah, it's because you also put the work in, and we can do that as well.
And also, Julie, what Julie just said now in terms of solitude and using these attributes alone as sort of a guide for you as what you want to cultivate, what you want to develop in solitude. Like you go in solitude to build, to ask for, to investigate, to research, to make sense of how you could make it you, how you can imbibe it. I think is a good idea, because I always think about solitude and how I'm going to do it, what I'm going to do. Am I going to be reading books? Am I going to be doing this? Am I going to be praying? Do I read Bible? You know, but I think this is actually a good idea, because it's something that from ideas, it can become tangible. It can become reality, and it can become reality pretty fast. We talked about what you need to do, knowing the steps that you need to take to develop the attitude. What are the ingredients? You know, it's like when you want to bake a cake, what ingredients do you need? So this cake is like, okay, you want to bake a vanilla cake. So this is called attributes rather than vanilla cake, yeah? And it's called elegance, or any of the other attributes. And then what ingredients you need to make a vanilla cake? You need vanilla. So what ingredients you need to become elegant? You need grace. You know, you need to be graceful. You need to be stylish, you know, but that's one very minute aspect of it. You need to be loving, to be kind, to be polite, to be conscious, to develop yourself, to be knowledgeable, you know, to be graceful. There's so many things. So that's how you get your ingredients for your cake together. And then to actually bake your cake is your attitude, your behavior every day, how you cultivate it. This is a never-ending cake. You would always cook it, bake it, and eat it.
Yeah.
If I can say that.
A great way to end this.
So guys, it's been a pleasure being with you. Vivian said variety of an array of different clothing. Yes. Aline says, hello girls. Thank you, Aline. Thank you, MC Awoko. Thank you very much. Nigel, thank you very much. I've read that Nigel's comments before. So guys, we'll be back. I know some of you are rushed off already. We'll be back in 56 minutes now. So we'll see you again in 56 minutes. You might not see us, we just see your name.
Yes.
But Dr. Sunday will be here. So that's 9 p.m. Ukraine time, 7 p.m. UK and Nigeria time. And don't forget, YouTube is available. And all these videos that you see here, any live program you see here, is also available on YouTube. Sunday Adelaja Official on YouTube. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.